All right, welcome back to House of Prep. My name's Jerry. For those that are still getting to know me, nice to meet you. And I live just outside of Nashville here in Tennessee, just so you kind of know my location as we talk about things. I want to talk about that Virginia, the breakdown, all right, the traffic jam, the shutdown of I-95 in Virginia. But before we do that, this is my first video of 2022. So here we are. It's a new year. We're past the holidays. And real quick, Ohio State Buckeyes, we won. And I say we because I'm a fan. I wasn't there. I didn't play. But they won the Rose Bowl. So that was kind of fun. Wasn't the playoffs, which I'm kind of glad because I think if we had to go up against Georgia or Alabama, we would have got smacked down pretty good. Sorry, Michigan. It's all right. But they took it to us this year. So hats off to Michigan fans. You guys had a great game against Ohio State. And so that's the update for real quick for football. But let's talk about that traffic jam. Now, I've done videos in the past. And wow, what a prime example. It falls right into what I had been saying on past videos about having some sort of a get-home bag, an emergency bag, whatever you want to call it. But if your vehicle breaks down, summertime, fall time, wintertime, springtime, it doesn't matter. It's good to have some supplies. Now, you change the bag up or your kit, whatever it is, you change it up seasonally. That does a couple things. First of all, that gets your gear to fit the weather, whether it's scorching hot in the summer, you need lighter things, you need more hydration and such, sunscreen, bug spray, all kinds of things for summertime. But here we are now getting into the teeth of winter, and as it's getting colder, and as snowstorms come in, black ice gets on the road, look, you never know, even if it's not your fault. And that's what I would always tell my kids when they're learning to drive. Look, I'm not getting on to you because I'm worried about you causing an accident. I'm trying to train you to have to adapt to other people's driving. And that's just wise, okay? Because 9 times out of 10, there's somebody else that's almost caused me an accident if I wasn't paying attention to other people. So you never know what's going to happen. You get on the road, look, no holds barred, right? You're just out there, and if it's in the middle of an interstate and you are shut down and there's not an exit in sight, then a lot of people have been feeling that. Sitting there on I-95, nowhere to go. And it's cold, and it's snowy. And I want to talk about the first thing. Let's talk about warmth. Look, jump in the comments because I'm not going to cover everything. I'm just kind of getting us brainstorming. And this is always sharing. This is a community. I love our community here. We've got a lot of great people with a lot of knowledge and experience, people that have gone through things and can say, look, make sure you do this and make sure you have that. This is a great place for new preppers or people who just want to be better prepared in life in general to come and to be able to glean all this knowledge coming from our comments section. So don't ever take that for granted. If you leave comments, it's much appreciated. And if you hit thumbs up, that's appreciated too. So that's just for free. But warmth, let's talk about warmth. How many people out of all those vehicles that have been shut down, what would they have done for a pair of gloves if they didn't have them? Man, a pair of gloves when your car, maybe you're out of gas because you've been running it to run the heat and you only had maybe, a third of a tank, which let's back up just a second. When you're traveling like that, don't let your vehicle go down, your gas tank go all the way down to almost empty before you start looking for a place to get gas. Look, I know it's convenient to just, utilize all your gas, stop, get more gas, and, time-wise, and you're just trying to make it to where you're going. But look, this is an example. If somebody was on fumes and they're shut down, you're only going to run that vehicle for just a little bit longer. So anyway, that should be step one. Don't let your gas tank get down at that low. To keep it at a quarter, start looking for if it gets down to a quarter, start looking for a place to get gas. So, but let's go back to warmth. So you got your car, whatever gas you have left, you obviously are running your heat. But at some point you may have to get out of your car for whatever reason to get to the trunk, to go help somebody. Maybe you have to just, look, we're stuck here, we're done, nobody's moving, we got to go hike to the exit, wherever that is, and find a motel or have somebody pick us up, whatever. Or if you're close enough to home, you may have to track home. A good pair of gloves, warm gloves, not just for you, but for whoever's going to be in the vehicle with you at the time. So good warm hats, could be the face ones, so your face, because there's nothing worse than just a freezing face if that wind is just blowing. So get a good face mask, a ski mask, a good toboggan hat, something to help warm your ears. Just stay warm, okay? An extra scarf. How about an extra blanket or two, especially if you have kids? And if you're going to be stuck for 24 hours on the middle of the road, those kids need to be bundled up, and you need to be bundled up. So some extra warm blankets in the trunk, vital in your kit. Maybe an extra, a long pair of sweatpants, kind of baggy. You could pull them up over your jeans or whatever you're wearing. Some ladies are wearing dresses. Well, thank God you got these sweatpants. Or whatever you choose, you can pull them up under your dress to stay warm if you have to get out of the car, especially if you have to hike. Shoes. If you're used to wearing just cute, fun shoes, or guys, just some basic tennis shoes, you might want to make sure you have a nice pair of boots, something for hiking, something for getting out and working. Maybe you have to work on the vehicle, or like I said, you're helping with people around you, have to get out of that area. So a good pair of boots, if you're not already wearing them, or you're accustomed to wearing them, keep some in your trunk for emergencies. Keep your feet warm. Keep an extra pair of socks. You're like, okay, we got this long hike. Look, here's extra socks for everybody. Layer up because it's going to be cold. And, you don't want to get your feet wet and stuff. So keep a good pair of boots, some extra socks. Keep an extra shirt, sweatshirt, anything that can help you layer up and to stay warm in your vehicle, or to layer up to get to the next exit or to get home. So we've got that, okay? Now let's talk about hydration. Look, even if it's cold, even if it's freezing cold, it's fact. Your body is still going to dehydrate, especially if you're out working and exhausting some energy. You're still going to need some hydration. So have some water on hand, whether it's bottled water. Now look, if you keep it in the trunk in the wintertime, this is something I have to remind people every year. Just make sure you empty some of that water out of your container, because what happens if it freezes? It expands. It'll bust out of that, container, the plastic that it's in, or it'll leave a crease. So when it thaws, it'll leak out. So just leave some room for expansion. So whatever containers you're accustomed to or you feel comfortable using, keep plenty of water. Even if it's one of those big 5-gallon, camping jugs or something, to keep plenty of water on hand. So you have water to drink. If you have something like that, you'll have a little bit of water for some freshen up, some cleanup. If you bring toothbrushes and stuff, you'll be able to freshen up a little bit. So just some extra water, because you just don't know what you're going to use it for. And I'm going to tie that in too with cooking here in a minute. So food. So you've got water, you're hydrated. Look, sports drinks, I thought about that, some Gatorades, but same thing. Just make sure you don't keep the containers full when it's the winter time. So food and stuff, look, beef jerky, those little tuna packs that you get that we talk about, some trail mix, right? Whatever your favorite trail mixes are. Now, because you're changing this stuff out seasonal, you want to keep rotating your food out. Now, in the summertime, you got to be careful, because that extreme heat can really deteriorate your preps fast. And in the wintertime, it's extreme cold. But think of it as like you're keeping your beef jerky in the refrigerator or the freezer, right? So bring your food in. If it's frozen, bring it into your vehicle. Start letting it warm up when you know you're going to need to get into it if it's extremely cold in the trunk. So that's at least short term. That'll get you on a hike. That'll get you through a day. Some food, some quick grabs, some things that you have. Now, if you want it to go a little step further, I know they make those little bullet heaters and those little bullet cook stoves and things that you can put a little butane canister in or different things. So little like a camping type situation stove and a little pot. Now you can heat up a can of Chef Boyardee or a can of soup. Man, you'll be like the envy of everybody out there if they see you out there heating up food when they're all out there and didn't prepare for anything. So we'll talk about that in a second too. So, excuse me. Yeah, but energy bars, power bars, maybe pack some extra in case there are people that are around you. Hey, you can toss them a couple power bars and stuff. Hey, this will tide you over. Leave me alone. So, but but have enough for you and for your family, enough to get through a day or two and to hike. And then if you have those stoves, you could even have some freeze-dried food. We talked about Mountain House before and different things, those little travel packs. If you have a big thing of water, you can boil up some water, pour that boiled water right into the freeze-dried pouch, plastic spoon. I mean, you've got dinner and you're satisfied. You're not out there going hungry, wishing somebody could come save you. You've got what you need. Have all your basic tools. Personal protection tool. We talk about other people around you. What do people do in extreme circumstances? Well, that depends. Depends on the person. Some people panic. Some people get aggressive. So for whatever the scenario in, it's nice to have some sort of personal protection, something that you can rely on to defend you and your family. There's no policeman out there. So you need to be able to defend yourself and your family. So having some basic tools, wrench, screwdrivers, maybe a Leatherman, just a multi-tool, a knife, a good knife. Just have some supplies on hand. Have your fire starters, some flint, some matches, a lighter, maybe have some tinder. Just think outside the box. There's no limits. It depends on how big you want your little kit, your backpack, your little box, your tote bag, whatever. It depends on how big you want it. But you come up with whatever ideas of scenario. It depends on where you live and maybe how far you're traveling. Maybe the more rural of an area you're going to and the longer you're going to be traveling, the more survival items you want to bring. What about a med kit? What about having your basic, medicines? What if people were taking blood pressure medicine or heart medicine, but they didn't bring like extra? Well, if they're there for a day or two, all of a sudden now their health could start turning because they didn't have the proper medication. So always keep a little extra or something with you, and you can rotate it out. Some pain meds, maybe some bandages and such, some basic meds, some things that you might need. A good pair of sunglasses. Look, when you're out in the snow and if the sun's beating down, that sun's going to be bouncing off the snow into your eyes. If you're out walking around, a good ball cap, a good pair of sunglasses. Look, the sky's the limit. We could sit here all day long and discuss things. So, but I hope this got you brainstorming. Now, I don't know if you've seen the news, if you've seen about the traffic stoppage that people have been sitting out there for a day. Just, I don't know how much of it's been up and moving it to this point, but that's a real thing. And that's something you need to think about. So I hope you guys have a great day. And I just wanted to be able to kind of come and chat with you guys. I don't make quite as many videos through these holiday seasons, through Thanksgiving, through Christmas. So as we're getting into the new year, I might start ramping it up a little bit more. But you guys stay safe and stay warm if you're in the cold area. Now, some of you guys are enjoying life out in the sun, depending on the different states you live in, and you still have some warm weather. So enjoy it. Enjoy it for the rest of us. But you guys be good, and I'll talk to you all later.